第2次，我第1次嚟其實我代表豐盛嚟啊。咁其實豐盛發廊 ，OK。咁anyway， 即係我自己本身我嘅都係好似阿 Mingo 講，我係教 finance 㗎啦。咁但係即係我同大家一樣，就係好似今次阿 Francis 一樣，我哋都有機會講我哋即係自己嘅職業以外咧，就有機會參與社企。咁所以咧就變咗揾我嚟教，我都覺得好開心，就好 relevant 啊！即係因為社企有社企嘅特性，咁所以咧，但係今堂咧我要問一問嘅，有冇人咧呢度咧係完全未讀過會計嘅？哦 ，OK， 冇舉手嗰啲係讀過會計，讀緊，會計即係包埋 finance 嗰啲啦嚇，即係冇舉手嗰啲係完全冇讀過會計 ，OK 得，好咁嗱，咁我想講一講，我想 achieve 到啲乜嘢啊？你手頭上面有沓 note 嘅，其實咧我就我想你揭開呢個 note 最尾嗰個唔係嘅。OK。哦，好啊。哦。OK。No problem. Okay. Okay. So let's speak English. Okay. So turn to your notes. On the last page of the notes. On the last page of the notes, you will see there is a sort of a 4 rectangle here. You see the 4 rectangle here in your last page of your notes. Okay. Okay. Is it? Yes. And also this one and the sample cash flow projection.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So. Let me be straight, okay? At the end of the class, or at the day when you submit your business plan, you should be able to produce the sample cash flow projection like this, a 12-month from December to the next December. So it is a 12-month cash flow forecast for your particular project. You should produce this one, and also, if possible, you can produce these 4 rectangles. The 4 rectangles include the most typical financial measure, including income statement, balance sheet, and the cash flow projection. And this one actually is a summary of this one. So this is a month to month. This is a detailed cash flow projection. This one is a yearly cash flow projection for the next 3 years. And the last rectangle is about the assumption you make for your project, and as well as some of the business ratio that you are expect to develop your own ratio for your own project, because each project is different, okay? So that's the best case for you. If you are able to produce all 5, I think you will be very, very high in your financial what's the sustainability, okay? So actually, for most of the students that I taught before, most of them can put in some of the figure in this rectangle, but they are unable to explain the assumption behind. And when you face your judge, you will be in a disaster if you can't explain all your assumption behind the figure. Okay, so this is the most important part behind the financial projection. Okay. Okay, so this is the end product. So let me start. Okay. In fact, financial projection, if it is a good financial projection, which means your number actually represents a summary of your business. So if you don't understand your business, then your financial projection will be very shallow. Okay. Okay. So what I want to teach you today is you put yourself in the shoes of the judge. What a typical judge will look when they look at your numbers, what are the typical questions they will be asked? Okay? And also, not just from the judge. If your financial projection is being judged by an outsider, for example, a financial analyst, they will typically ask you a lot of questions. If you are able to answer all these questions, then your financial projection is considered very sound. Okay. So now, try to change your perspective, because when you sit here, you are always thinking about your own project, and you can definitely do your numbers and projection, but you haven't taken the other side to screen or to scrutinize your numbers. So today, what I want to teach you is I will take the other side. I will tell you what the outsider will ask about your financial projection. If you know the perspective of the other people, then you know how to do your own financial projection. Okay, is it clear? It is important, right? Many students fail because they just cannot answer one simple question. For example, why their sales is increasing like this? They just cannot answer. Why your first year sales is $100 and the second year sales is $200? They just cannot explain why there is an additional 100% growth year on year. So be careful about this type of question, okay? So what I need to teach you is from an outsider perspective, what they will see, okay? Okay, so this is your notes. Okay, so let's go through an example first before I go to the notes, okay? So you can see I printed an annual report for Fairwood. I guess many of you are having lunch in Fairwood every day, right? So from an outsider perspective, you can also ask questions about whether this financial forecast or financial report is correct or is meaningful. Okay, so if before you can prepare your own, be able to understand a typical financial statement, then you are able to prepare your own. Okay, so let me begin the figure like this. Here you will see the income statement. First of all, you will see there is an income statement. Okay, and then you will see the balance sheet. Okay, the balance sheet. Okay, and the cash flow statement. And the cash flow statement. Okay. Okay. If you are able to produce all these, then you are excellent. Okay. But of course, I don't expect you are able to produce all this. What you can do is just to produce a very summary version of this income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. Okay. Okay. So let's begin with income statement first. Okay. What is an income statement? Just put it simple. You refer to your notes, page 3. Okay. So when you begin your project, okay, you always think about this question, whether you have net income or profit for your project, right? So every year, if your income or your revenue is greater than your expense, then your project is earning some money, right? Earning some money, okay? But this is only talking about the yearly income statement. The concept of income statement is measuring or talking about your business from January 1st to December 31st. It means it measures what the company did for the whole year, for the 365 days, okay? This concept is totally different from the concept of balance sheet. Okay. Balance sheet is just a snapshot at the year end. Okay. What is a snapshot? What's the difference between income statement and balance sheet? Okay. Income statement is talking about your purchase and sale throughout the 300 days. Balance sheet is like taking a picture of your company. So as at year end, you take a picture of your company. What do you have? What do you own? That is, what do you have is your asset. What do you owe is your liability. Okay? Okay, let me ask you a question. Can you take a snapshot of yourself today? Yes. What is your asset right now? Okay. $100 asset, cash. Okay, what is my for example, I have a flat in Hong Kong, so 4 million flat in Hong Kong, that is my asset. $100 cash, that is my asset. What is my liability? Mortgage. 3 million mortgage, right? Okay, 4 million asset, 3 million mortgage, that is liability, right? What is left over? What is left over to me? What is really owned by me? The 4 million plus $100 minus the 3 million. In company terms, it calls equity. Okay? Okay? So you can take a snapshot of them. Do you have positive equity or negative equity today? Ask yourself. Are you a negative equity owner or a positive equity owner? Okay. Take a simple example. For example, you have $2,000 in your pocket, but you own 10,000 credit card loan. Then you will have a negative equity, right? Because your asset is less than your liability. Okay. Make sure your company at the year end for the next 3 years you have a positive equity. So your asset must be larger than your liability. Otherwise, I don't think you can win the competition. Okay, that's the most simple thing about balance sheet and income statement. Okay, so balance sheet is talking about a snapshot at a particular point in time, but income statement is talking about the total activity from January 1st to December 31st. Okay, so it is talking about two different things. Okay. So now you must have your project in your mind, right? So let me try to go through the Fairwood statement, whether you can understand Fairwood. If you can understand Fairwood, then you can understand your own business. Okay, first of all, you need to prepare a 3-year forecast. So this is 2007, 2008, okay? So the basic terms you must understand, the most simple term you must understand is the revenue or the income of your project. And then what is your operating profit or earning before interest and tax? Okay. I won't go through all the items in the income statement, but at least you are able to tell me about your own project. What is the revenue for the first year? What is the earning before interest and tax, or sometimes we call it operating profit? Okay. Of your project for the first year. And then what is your net income or net profit? Okay? It depends whether you are using a UK or US system. Okay. So three major items that you must able to explain. Okay. So any figure in your mind? Have you ever think about your project's first year sale now? Not yet? Okay, 1 million? 2 million? What is your initial investment of your project if you win the game? 380,000, right?
240,000.
240, okay, 240,000. So what if you have 240,000 as a capital? What is your expected revenue for the first? Just a figure. What is your expected revenue for your project in the first year? 1 million? 1 million? Okay. For example, if you do 1 million revenue for the first year and you earn 10% as profit, so you get 100,000 profit for the first year. If your initial investment is 240,000, right? You will get back your initial investment in 2.5 years, right? Okay, have this in your mind. So now you must think whether you can get $100,000 profit per year for the next 3 years. Okay, otherwise your project cannot be break even for the first year, for the first 3 years. Okay, of course you can have a project break even in 10 years, but you must able to explain why a 10-year break even project is sustainable or is worthwhile to continue to invest. Okay, okay. So do you have 1 million sales in the first year? No. Okay. Anyway, after this 3 years, after the class today, You must able to come up with a figure in the revenue, operating profit, and net profit at least. Okay? So I will go through this example first. Now you take the other shoes from the investor angle. When you look at somebody else's income statement, can you able to analyze this and criticize it, and whether you think this business is sustainable? Okay? Now I give you a challenge. Do you think Fairwood is a sustainable business? If you are able to analyze it, then you know whether it's sustainable. Okay? So how do you think whether Fairwood is doing its business well? Okay? The first line, turnover or sales or revenue. We use this term interchangeably. Okay? How much is that? Can somebody tell me the one more? 1.4 billion, right? This guy must have some finance background. Most of the students is unable to tell the long name, 1 billion or 1 million or 1,400 million, etc., etc. For most of the non-finance people, they are unable to tell. Then this is the 9 digits, so 1.4 billion. Okay. If you come from a finance background, when you look at the number, you know. Okay, 1.4 billion, because this is 9 digits altogether. Okay. But how do you interpret this 1.4 billion? For example, if I'm the judge, I look at your business plan, you tell me you do 1 million. Then my second question will ask you how many units you sell for the first year, right? If you tell me it's 1 million, the next team tell me 3 million. The next question I will come up, how many units you sell to achieve this 1 million and 3 million? Okay, so you look at the Fairwood. Many students just look at, oh, it's 1.4 billion. That's it. What's the meaning of 1.4 billion in this business? Have you ever eat your lunch in Fairwood? Yes. How much per meal? 40. So how many meals? Do you bring your calculator? Okay. Okay. I'll tell you how I do it. Okay. How many shops are there? How many Fairwood shops are there in Hong Kong? Let's say 100. Okay, let's say 100. So 1.4 billion divided by 100 shops. Okay, how many days a year? 360 days. Okay, so 1.4 billion divided by 100 shops and 360 days. It's talking about close to 40,000 Hong Kong dollars per shop per day. Okay? Okay, $40,000 per shop per day. Okay, there is a Fairwood downstairs, right? If you are the business owner, can you achieve $40,000 sales per day for the shop? How many meals you need to sell in one day? 1,000. How can you do 1,000 meals? How can you sell 1,000 meals in one day? No? Okay? Okay. Okay. Divide it, break it smaller. 300 breakfast, 300 lunch, 100 afternoon tea, and another 300 dinner. That is 1,000 meal, right? And multiply by $40 per meal. Then you are able to achieve this 1.4 billion sales for the Fairwood shop in Hong Kong. Okay? Okay, can you answer can you answer this question for your own project? Okay, good. Okay. Okay. How can you sell 300 breakfasts in 2 hours time? Okay. If your business plan is about retailing, then you would be definitely asked about this question. How can you sell 200 meals during the breakfast time? 300 breakfasts in 2 hours time. So each hour 150 per minute. 2. Okay, this is Fairwood. Okay, okay. So try to imagine whether this business is feasible. Fairwood did it. I'm not sure whether you can do it. Okay, but Fairwood is able to sell 2 meals per minute. Okay, okay. So try to break your own figures. When you compile your own figure at the end of the day, try to answer similar questions for yourself. Okay, okay. So this is the sales, right? Then the second important figure is the profit from operation, or sometimes we call it EBIT. Okay, or operating profit, earning before interest and tax. Okay. So out of 1.4 billion, it earned 120 million. 120 million. So what is the profit margin? Operating profit margin? 8%. So if you consume a $40 meal in Fairwood, how much it earns per meal? Okay. If you consume the lunch $40 and 8%, right? 8%. Okay. $3.20. Okay, is it a good business? This is operating profit. What does it mean by operating profit? Operating profit means you have the shop, you have the BBQ pot, you have the rice, all that. You have covered all these costs. And also the salary, but not yet the headquarter expense. The general advertising expense is not yet covered. So when you consume $40, a BBQ pork rice there, Fairwood earned $3.20 in terms of operation only. And not yet cover its headquarter expense, including the salary of the general manager, the photocopying machine, and also the fee for auditor, etc. It's not yet covered. Okay? So if the profit is only $3.20, will you go ahead with this business? Do you like this business? Will you be invested in this business? No? There are many shareholders in Hong Kong. They are invested in Fairwood. Okay, anyway, I just want to stimulate your thinking first. Okay? Okay, so $40, Fairwood earned $3. This is operating profit. What is the net profit? $100 million. Okay? 100 million out of a 1.4 billion. 7%. Okay. So $2.80. Okay. If this is $40, this is $2.80. Okay. So many people think it's a really bad business, right? $40 sales, they earn after everything is $2.8. It's close to $3. So if your proposal is about retailer, then you must think whether this ratio is reasonable or not. Okay. So I saw too many presentations. The figure is totally ridiculous. Okay. So they may propose a $40 sales and earn a $30 net profit. Then I will ask you why. How can you do it? Okay, where do you get all these costs? Have you covered every cost? That's the most of the problem that I come across in students' presentation. Okay, but anyway, fast food business is a highly competitive business, so the profit margin is quite low, 7%. I give you another example. Consider a Welcome or Park and Shop supermarket. Their profit margin will be even lower. Okay, maybe 3%, something like that. Okay, how about a developer selling flats? What do you expect the profit margin? Yeah, 20 to 30%. So you must have a gut feeling about your business. What is the area of your business? What is the competition there? Then you know a reasonable percentage figure for your profit. Then you know whether your project is feasible or not. Okay? Okay, so the first exercise, try to, when you propose your business, try to find some comparable business in the market to justify your number. Okay? Okay? Okay. For example, if you're doing fast food shop, I don't think you can do 1.4 billion. Right? You can't, I don't think you can compete with Fairwood and Cafe de Coral, right? So it must be reasonable. If their earnings is only 7%, I don't think you can put a figure higher than 7%, except you tell me you have a very special story to tell me. Okay? Okay? So try to find out your competitor, and then you know what is the reasonable range of your figure, whether in absolute terms or in the relative terms. Okay? Whether you can achieve such absolute numbers or whether you can earn a higher relative percentage than your competitor. Then you must be able to justify. Okay? Okay? Okay. So income statement, okay? Okay, then we'll talk about the notes, okay? Okay. Page 3 on your notes. So now this is the simplest formula. But you can see in a typical income statement, you need to have certain items. So we have already know the revenue, the operating profit, and the net profit. Then now you need to know what's between it, okay? So before we have the operating profit, usually we will deduct every cost related to the sales. We call it direct costs. Labor, material, etc., etc. Okay? Okay. And from the operating profit down to the net income. Okay. Okay. I think we use the template. Okay. I actually put this one for you. It's easier. Okay. The last page. So the laziest word that you can do is follow the template, but you must be able to create or to tell why you have to include this item. So for revenue, is the selling price of for Fairwood is the selling price of their lunchbox, right? The gross profit is after all the cost of sale, which means is the labor and material of the shop. Okay. And then you have the operating profit here. So what is behind the operating profit? You must pay the admin and overhead, your promotion, your salary, or your website, your rent, etc., etc. Okay. So think through this item. Then you have the operating profit. In your case, I don't think you have interest expense. If you make a profit, then you must make a tax provision. Okay. So I don't think you need to put interest except you are borrowing from a bank. Okay. Then you have then you can have revenue, gross profit, operating profit, net income. Okay. Okay. All the items are quite clear except this one. Okay. This one is related to balance sheet, then I will talk later. Okay. Okay. So for the tax, I think you can able to feel it, right? You know you definitely know your revenue. If you are employing some direct labor to do the job, then you must include the labor cost there. But your own salary is here. Okay? So there is a slightly different, right? If you employ somebody to deliver the product, then you need to pay the salary or the wages to the, or we call it the frontline staff, right? You have to pay for the frontline staff and also your materials to produce product. And then rent, utilities, etc., then you know it, okay? Then lastly, you must cover your own salary, okay? And then you have your operating profit. Okay. 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 So this is just a typical income statement format that you will see in most of the annual report. But anyway, you follow the campaign is better, okay? Follow my campaign is better, okay? You can follow this. Okay, then we come to the balance sheet. So balance sheet is a totally different concept. It's just a snapshot at a particular point in time. So I take a snapshot today of you, of your company. You must able to tell what are the assets you own in your company. What are the liability you owe to somebody else, okay? So you don't need to go through all these items one by one, but there are some major items that you must understand. When you say asset, the most typical asset that you have is the cash, right? For your project, you will have $240,000 at the beginning. After that, you invest something else, but you will still have some cash left over, okay? So you will have some cash. You won't have securities. I don't think you will have securities. You won't buy securities with your money, but you will have inventory, right? You will have inventory. If you are producing something, how can you produce something? Because you use up some of your cash to buy the material, and the material will be your inventory. For example, you have $10, you put $2 into material and inventory. Then your balance sheet will look like this. You will have $8 cash and $2 inventory, etc., right? Okay. So, what are the receivable and the prepaid? Okay, prepaid. If you are going to rent a place for a project, usually the landlord will ask you to prepay your rent for one month, right? Just like your mobile contract, right? Every mobile contract is a prepayment for 1 month, right? So the concept of prepayment is like that. At a particular point of time, you, for example, you should have $100 at hand. For example, you have $100 at hand. Because you have prepaid, for example, $20 as rent, then your balance sheet will look like this. Okay? Okay. So why we count this prepaid expense as part of the asset? Okay? The concept is like that. When you take a snapshot of your company, what you own actually is $80 cash plus this $20 prepayment, because at this particular point in time, the cash are just being locked up by your landlord, and you haven't used up the place for the next month. So this $20 is also belongs to you. So you have $100 asset as well. Okay. If you don't prepay your rent, then your balance sheet will be $100 cash and $0 prepayment, right? Okay. Okay. What is receivable? Okay. Receivable is at a particular point in time. For example, if I sell you a lunchbox, you should pay me cash on the spot, right? Then there will be no receivable. For example, I sell you the lunchbox today, but you pay me on January. When I take a snapshot of my company on December 31st, what will happen? Okay. You take a snapshot, just take a picture of your company as at December 31st, right? But I already give you the lunchbox today. Today is December, right? I give you a lunchbox. Then I give out my inventory to you, but you haven't paid me. You agree to pay me on middle of January, but I take the snapshot here at December 31st. So how can I account for this? Because I already give you the inventory, but you haven't paid me. So you still owe me the lunchbox. You still owe me the price of the lunchbox as at December 31st. So how can I treat it? Because you owe me money. This is receivable. For example, okay, you have $100 cash, receivable. Okay. Just consider the case. If I give you the lunch box today and you give me the cash, I should have 103 at my bank. Because I give you the lunch box today, you only agree to pay me the $3 in mid-January. So I only have $100 in my bank account, but you owe me $3. How can I account for it? I call it money to be received. So the name is called receivable. That is something that you are going to receive. Okay? I think for most of the people, they will find it difficult to understand receivable and prepayment. But anyway, try to learn as much as you can. Okay? If you really cannot understand all this receivable and prepayment, but at least you know cash and inventory. Okay? Then you can assume there is no receivable and prepayment for your own business. It's okay. Okay? You can say I won't prepay my rent. I won't prepay my mobile fee, I won't prepay my website hosting fee, etc., etc. Okay, then you don't have prepayment, okay, or prepay expense. But receivable, then you must ask whether your business, whenever you complete a sale, then you will receive all the money on the spot. Then you must have this assumption. Otherwise, you will have some receivable at year end. Okay. So cash business is always the best business. For cash business, they don't have receivable, they don't have prepayment. So they don't have cash and inventory. Okay. Okay. These two are the very basic assets that you may have for your business at any year end. Okay. So consider that you receive the money, $240,000 from CUHK, okay? Then you get the money. When you need to invest your money into a project, right? We call it initial investment, right? Your initial investment will usually be put into something about intangible asset or plant and equipment. We call it long-term asset, okay? So for firewood, if you buy some rice or BBQ pot, they are called inventory. But if you buy a machinery, oven, cooking machine, etc., they will be long-term asset. They will be equipment, right? How to differentiate the two? How to differentiate? It's very easy. For inventory, all these things, BBQ pot or rice, they will be easily converted to cash. Usually the definition is that it can be converted to cash instantly or within 1 year. Then we put it as inventory. If something that you will use it for more than 1 year, or something we call it a productive asset, you must have the machine in order to run this business. You are not going to sell out your machine, right? You only sell BBQ pot. You won't sell your machine. All these machines we call it long-term asset. As long as your business is here, you won't sell your long-term asset. So, for example, if your company need to buy a Microsoft Office software, is it a long-term asset or inventory? Long-term asset. Is it plant and equipment or intangible? Or is it just say software? Okay? Because it's not a tangible asset. Plant and equipment are something tangible, physical. Okay? Intangible is something you can't touch. So all this copyright, patent, or software, you can call it intangible, or you can just say software, patents, etc., etc. Okay? Okay? Okay, balance sheet is the most difficult part of doing financial forecast. Many students is unable to catch the concept, but I want to encourage you that everybody is able to complete an income statement, okay, and the cash flow statement is easier. Balance sheet is the most difficult, okay. Okay, so try to understand that you must have cash, inventory, and long-term asset. Okay, for every business. Okay. Okay. So the definition is quite easy. Current asset means 1 year or within 1 year or within one operating cycle of your business. Longer than that is long-term asset. Okay. Okay, so now you have income statement and balance sheet. Okay. I think for most of your project, you won't have a liability. You won't be able to borrow bank loans, right? So you won't have long-term liability. So no need to confuse you, okay? But at least you have something to consider as well. Because you have receivable, then you will have account payable and accrued expense. What is accrued expense or account payable? Account payable means the money that you need to pay to your supplier. Receivable is money to be received from customer. Payable is money to be paid to your contractor. Okay? So that's why it's called liability. So if you are doing a pure cash business, you won't have account payable. Because if you get the material from your supplier, then you pay cash on the spot, then there won't be any account payable. Okay? Accrued expense is similar. Okay? Okay? Okay, so income statement and balance sheet. Okay? Okay, the last part of your balance sheet is like that. Okay? For example, you have cash, you have inventory, okay? You have repayment, right? So in every point, if I take a snapshot for your project, so you will be able to answer your cash, inventory, repayment, or long-term asset, for example, long-term asset. Okay, long-term asset. Okay. The balance sheet must be balanced in the terms of okay. So if you are able to answer the questions from the asset side, put the numbers here, and you answer all the questions from the liability side, you put the number here. Don't forget that you have the money in, right? At the beginning of the project, you will receive money from the CUHK. Then you have your money here. Your money haven't been spent away. So you have your money invested in either in cash or in the form of intangible or physical asset. So you still have all your money here, right? All your money here. And you owe a little bit payable. So whatever left behind is your equity, okay? So your equity actually is what? Is your capital, okay? It's your capital. So consider this, okay? Okay. 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 Let's do a balance sheet at point 0. Right after you win the competition. What's this? How does it look like, the balance sheet? If you win the competition, you have 240,000 Hong Kong dollars. So your bank account will have 240,000 Hong Kong dollars. So that is cash, right? You don't have any liability. So your equity will be Okay? Okay? What do you do with your own with all this cash? You start your business. Okay? For example, you buy a software. Okay? Okay, you buy a software 140K, and you have 100K left. For example, you have 100K. Okay, 100K. So this is the cash, and then this is your inventory, right? Okay, this is a typical way to do a business, right? You start with cash, and you buy some long-term asset. You still have cash left over. You put some of the cash into inventory. For example, lunchbox. Okay. What is the equity look like on the right-hand side? It's the same, right? Okay. This is December 31st. This is December. Okay. Okay. You get the money, then you put the money in this shape. Okay. This is year 0, so you are starting your business on January 1st. So what did you do over the next 365 days? What is a business? What do you do with all this red color cash? You start to sell your inventory at a price higher than 20K, right? This is business. If your inventory is 20K, you will definitely sell for 30K, right? So what will you have after 1 year? Year 1, what will you have? I suppose you can earn some money, right? So this is 140K, this is 80K cash. You sell 30K you sell 20K of inventory and become $30K cash. So this is 140. How many cash do you have? Alright? Alright? You have 80K, you have 20K, 20K become 30K. So you have 110K. Right now the balance sheet is no longer balanced. You have 240 here, 240 here, 240 here, 240 here. This is 240 equity. Okay? The balance sheet now is no longer balanced, but you must balance it because it's called balance sheet. Then what does it represent? This one? What's that? How do you call this $10? Here. Retain. Okay? So I won't explain all these terms, but at least now I illustrate one principle: the relationship between income statement and balance sheet. There are relationships. Okay, what are the relationships I just illustrate? Okay, this is balance sheet. You start with 240K, okay, and then 240K, year 0. After 1 year of activity, you have 250K. The 10K is called earning. The 10K in the balance sheet is called retained earning. But what does this 10K mean? If you put back in your income statement concept, what is the meaning of this 10K? You flip your income statement. You have 20K inventory and sell it for 30K. If you consider it in an income statement format, what does it mean? You have 30K revenue. After deducting every expense, you have 10K net profit. Correct? That's why I tell you income statement and balance sheet are totally different concepts. This income statement is measured the activity over the 365 days. And the balance sheet it just gives you 2 days. 31st December year 0, 31st December year 1. Okay? So the difference of between 2 days is the 10K. This 10K is representing all your activities throughout the year. So throughout this year, you sell for 30K with your 20K inventory. So you must earn 10K net profit for the whole year. So this net income or net profit will be added to the retained earning of the balance sheet. So this is your capital, this is your retained earning. Okay? So your balance sheet grow over year. Okay? So what will you do next year? Repeat the pattern, right? Right now you have 250K altogether. I don't care whether you call it capital or retained earning. It's just a figure on the balance sheet. But what really meaning to you is you have 250K cash in your bank at the start of the year 1, right? So what do you want to do with this 250K next year? Then you repeat the story, right? You use your cash to buy some inventory, and then you sell the inventory at a high price. Then your balance sheet, the asset side will grow next year. Maybe become, okay, next year, maybe you still have 140K. This is long-term asset, it doesn't move, but you have more cash because you sell the inventory at a high price. Then your balance sheet, the right-hand side, you are starting with 240 capital, right? What is your retained earning? Okay. So you repeat this for year 1, year 2, and year 3. Then you complete your financial forecast. But you just look at the balance sheet. When you see the balance sheet is growing from 10K retained earning to 50K retained earning, it must be equated or reconciled with what the number you put in the income statement. Otherwise, your balance sheet is wrong. Okay? Okay? So, you earn 40K in year 2. Okay? So, your income statement for the second year must have a 40K net income. Otherwise, you can't explain. So, the first year, like that. Okay? 30K, 10K. The second year. I don't care how high you sell your price, maybe 120, but I care this one. This must be 40. Okay? This must be 40. So you have earned 10K in the first year and earn another 40K in the second year. So you have altogether retained 50K on your balance sheet. Okay? That's why we call it retained earning. It's something that you retain on your balance sheet. Okay? So now you must be able to differentiate the two. Year 1 income statement, just measure what you earn for the first year. Year 2 income statement, just measure what you earn in the second year. But the retained earning, measure what you earn over time. Okay? It is an accumulative concept for balance sheet. This is a year-to-year concept. This is a 1 year concept, another year concept, and the third year and the fourth year. Okay? Okay. 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 Very clear, right? Okay. Any question?
I have a question. Our company is not going to be selling anything except probably our company. We're working on a technology. Maybe we'll license it, probably not. So at no point are we going to be selling any products.
Yeah.
My question is, like the rest of these guys, at some point we'll probably be looking at equity investments.
Yeah.
So how would we evaluate our company to understand what say an angel investor offers us $5 million. How do we know what percentage of our company that $5 million is worth? Especially considering we're not selling.
You mean how to value your company, or how to do a value? You mean what is your company valuation?
Right. How to evaluate our company, especially considering that we're not selling anything, so we don't have any.
Okay. How can you generate your revenue for your company?
There's no revenue for the first 3 or 4 years, only through investments.
Okay. Then it's okay. Then you will have you will see your cash decreasing over year, because you have put your cash into some kind of investment and you don't generate any revenue, and you will see your cash is using up year over year, right? Yeah. Then you will see your equity is reducing. Yeah. Then of course every business is different, so you must be able to answer why people would like your business even though your equity is reducing, or do you mean your business will have revenue many years later, or?
Well, if we sell the company to somebody and they use the technology, that would generate revenue, sure. But our company may never generate revenue except in the sale of the company. Or if we decide to license the technology, then we would be generating revenue through the licensing fees.
So your revenue will be license fee?
Perhaps eventually, but that would be 3 or 4 years down the road. For the first 3 or 4 years, absolutely no revenue.
Yeah. Okay. Then you can do your financial projection for more years. Okay. For example, okay, what the typical way is to present the first 3 years. If your project will only have revenue, say after 5 years, then you can do it for more than 5 years.
Who's going to believe a financial projection 5 years out?
Yeah. Sorry.
Who's going to believe a financial projection 5 years out, especially for technology that hasn't even been developed yet?
But if you can't produce if you can't prove there is any revenue after 5 years, nobody will invest in your project.
I would disagree with that. I think for our company, the more important thing to do would be to evaluate the company itself so that we can determine how much of our company we should give up in exchange for a financial investment. I know. For every valuation, they must back by cash flow. So you must able to demonstrate there will be some kind of cash flow. I know I know what you mean. You just invest in a venture or business. Then after a few years, you maybe sell your whole business to other person. Then okay, that will be that will be very difficult for you to put a valuation at what is your time horizon for investment? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? You mean when do we expect?
When do you expect to sell your company?
Oh, about 7 years, 5 to 7 years.
Okay. So is there any cash flow at 7 years?
Perhaps not. No.
Okay. Then you must able to develop some kind of matrix or ratio to value your company. Matrix or ratio. For example, at that time, that was year 2000. Is the IT bubble, right? IT bubble era. Okay. There is low revenue for Yahoo at that time. How can they value the whole company? Do you know how do they value? Okay. How do they value? They count the number of eyeballs or the number of visits per day on their homepage. Then they put, say, $10 per view. Then you must develop your own. Otherwise, how can you justify a number at year 7? Because your business is special, right? You are not going to generate any revenue, but you believe you can sell it at the year 7.
Okay, so you're saying that we should pick some sort of for a website, it would be the amount of people looking at it.
Yeah.
So some sort of number that our company produces and multiply that by some sort of valuation of that thing.
Yeah.
One question.
Okay.
Can we sell the company to count as cash flow?
Yes, but you must tell me why you believe you can able to sell at this number. Yeah. Yeah. No? No? Okay, good question. Are we expecting that every business must be able to pay back in 2 or 5 or 7 years? It depends on your business. You will be very likely to be asked by the judge, why do you think your business can achieve break-even in 7 years or 5 years or 10 years? I give you another example. If you are doing a hotel business, you will get a break-even in typically 12 years. break even. I mean, just break even. What do you mean by break even? It just means your income is just equal to your initial investment. You haven't earned anything. Okay? So you must think about your business. Whether you can achieve a break even in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years. But you must able to tell me why. That's why I already asked you, you must able to find some comparable business in your industry. Or if you believe your project is so unique, there is no comparable in the world, then tell me why. Why? Tell me why you have no comparable. You mean your business, nobody have any similar business to your own business? If that is the case, then you can put any valuation on it. If you are able to think of something so creative, yeah. Then, but of course, you must. When I say you can put any figure, you must have some base. For example, at that time for Yahoo homepage, they still based on the number of clicks, right? Although there is no revenue, no cash flow, they must base on something, okay? Otherwise, people won't believe your valuation, okay? Okay, yeah. Okay. I know most of your projects are so innovative. I understand. I truly understand that. I truly believe it. Okay. There are. I really believe that all the people here you have very creative mind. But even though when you say creative, you are actually develop something out. What I say is you must observe the example in this world and you develop something else. So you are still basing on something. So the best financial projection, you must tell me how do you originate your idea. So that's why your valuation must be somehow originated from the other one. You can't create something out of nothing. I don't think people can create something out of nothing, but you create something based on.
I can add something on that. In our competition, we don't expect you to have a breakdown, have a break even within a certain period of time, even though for that your business is long term, maybe technology development. You can position yourself as a technology developer that you will produce some very good social impact from your technology. Okay, but you said you don't have any cash flow. That's fine. Then you just but you have a lot of expenses, right, to develop. So you just put all your story into financial figures, like how much you will spend every year, how much you need to spend for developing the technology. Okay, then ultimately you will accumulate all those expenses into your asset.
Yeah.
You are selling your asset because all these expenses will be R&D, research and development. Research and development is part of the asset side. So you will accumulate asset value so that you can package this asset value not at cost. Okay, of course, you have some value added or some other way of selling your company. But I think in our competition we don't have a very critical question on how to do valuation. Okay, we don't that. We don't do that. We just need you to tell the story in a financial way. Okay. So your question is about cash flow or valuation based on cash flow. Yes, valuation normally will be based on cash flow because it's the most reliable things. But we also don't require you to do valuation. Okay, don't do that. Okay, you just put up your best financial figures. Okay, every year, okay, every month you spend how much money and then how much revenue you can generate, and then at least give us 3 years of your financial figures. But if you think your financial model cannot be break even within 3 years, so how about do it 5 years? Okay, okay. So to give us more data so that we know how you can be break even.
Thank you, Mingo. Then I know. Okay, I think your concern is you don't have revenue or cash flow or even net profit, so you will have negative number here, right? You are concerned that your income statement will be negative and all negative. But what you did, you find your project is valuable. But just like what Mingo said, you must put the figure here. Whatever you spend, you will become part of your asset. whether it's long-term asset or intangible or software development cost. You just put all your figure here. Of course, we won't ask for valuation, but at least you can show the judge how much money you have spent in R&D, software, etc., etc. Then you will have a figure at the end of the day, maybe 3 years or 5 years. Then you just tell me, maybe I think here is 200K, then I'm able to sell a multiple of 3. So we can sell it at 600K.
And the asset is accumulative, right?
Yeah, it's accumulative. Yeah, balance sheet is on an accumulative basis. For example, you spend $10 in intangibles this year and you spend another 50, then you will become 60. And then you spend another 100, you will become 160, etc., etc. So your balance sheet, somehow, whatever you have your money, your cash, but you put your cash into asset. So this figure will more or less is growing. So the other way of looking at your project or company, people sometimes will look at your net asset or your asset, okay, or your profit, okay. But for typical business proposal, we will thinking about whether you have income or cash flow over the 3 to 5 year period. But you can also justify your project by using the net asset or the asset base or the asset. Okay.
If you get the funding from SEC,
yeah.
Is that considered to be the fixed asset or the income?
Yeah. No, it's not income. When you at the year 0, you get the money from SEC. You have cash right now on the balance sheet, and put your cash. You will use up your cash in other productive use. For example, you put some of the cash in intangible. Yeah. So it is not your income. It's not your income. Okay. Because your income only measure your business activity. It's not your income.
Our prize money for champion will be distributed not at the one lump sum time. Okay, we will distribute within 6 months.
Okay.
Half a year. So, but within 1 year you can get all the money.
Within 1 year, your cash balance will be here, 240K. At the year end, year 1, December.
But the total amount of cash balance you expect to receive is dependent on how many members of your team. If you have 5, you can get 240,000. If you are 2, you just get 96,000. It's 48,000 per person. Okay, we distribute according to individual basis. So more members, at least maximum 5 members can get 240,000.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
After that, we may include expansion plans,
Okay.
which we may set up a profit organization. So in this case, how should we present all these things?
Okay. You start up as a non-profit, so maybe after several years, then you start a business venture as well. So no matter whether you start up as a non-profit or not, you can still use. When you get the money, you have the cash balance. When you use the money in fixed asset, you increase the asset and you reduce the cash. So you just use the same balance sheet format over the year. You don't need to. This is your business plans about converting a non-profit to a profitable one.
Like it happens at the same time.
Yeah.
One non-profit and one.
Okay.
Two companies existing.
Okay. Your proposal consists of 2 companies. Oh, okay. It depends how complex of your project. But anyway, I think a single balance sheet and a single income statement is good enough for your project. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. That's the balance sheet. Okay, so turn to page 9 of your notes. Okay. Okay. So right now you have a basic idea for your balance sheet, right? For the balance sheet, you have asset, liability, and equity. Okay, and then income statement. You must able to think about your revenue, operating profit, and net profit, and then the cash flow. Okay, and then the cash flow. Okay. Okay. Page 10 is just a summary of the relationship between the income statement and the balance sheet as well as the cash flow statement. Okay. Cash flow statement is the most easiest because it just measures how much cash in, how much cash out. It doesn't matter whether it belongs to asset or sales or inventory or not. It just measures your bank balance, going out, going in, and going out. Okay. So cash flow statement is the most easiest part. But I will give you a few ideas. So right now we know this already, right? Asset minus equity minus liability must equal to your equity. And your equity is consists of two parts. One is your initial capital received from the SEC, and the other is the retained earning over the years. So it depends on how many years you are going to project. And what is the retained earning on the balance sheet it is an accumulative figure. You have a beginning retained earning and you have an ending beginning earning, which must be represented by the net income on the income statement. This is the balance sheet. This is the balance sheet. Okay? Okay. I assume that over the years you won't pay out your dividend. So no need to consider the dividend. Okay? So this is the relationship between income statement and balance sheet. Okay? Okay. So for most of the people, they will start doing the income statement first. Then after that, you know whether you earn money or not during that year. Then you will increase your balance sheet equity, the equity of your balance sheet through the retained earnings. Okay? Then your balance sheet will grow over time. Okay? Okay? Okay. So this is the trick. So if possible, you will have a bigger balance sheet next year. Okay. Okay. And a bigger next year. This is a normal business. So your balance sheet will look like this. Okay? The equity will grow over time, represented by your net income over years. Okay? Okay? So the cash is very easy. After you understand income statement, cash flow statement is the easiest part. Cash is like that. It just shows, you just need to remember two formulas. Okay? If you receive the money from SEC, it is a source of cash. Okay, it is a source of cash. A source of cash, you will have a higher cash balance on your asset side, but you will, because it is a money inflow from the SEC, it is represented a high equity, right? Because it is considered the SEC money is your capital investment. So your equity will grow by 200 and your cash will grow by 200. When there is cash coming in, either your equity will grow or your liability will grow. But this case,用平嘅價錢俾啲，即係嗰啲 OL 可以禮拜一買到一套，係啦，因為。Okay. So you have your cash in, then your equity will grow, your cash will grow. But with all the cash part, you will use your cash to buy some asset. So you have all the cash here. When you convert some of your cash into property, plant, and equipment, then you will increase your asset, but you reduce your cash. Okay? So maybe you have cash. Okay, something like that. Okay, so you just need to memorize these two. Okay. Okay. Okay, so when you present your financial statement, just remember a few principles, okay? You have your income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. When you put a number here, no matter where, just put the essential number. So it's about a relevant number, okay? No need to put some trivial numbers. For example, a $1 expense in buying a rubber band. No need to put. But you have to think about the bigger figure. Okay. So make sure your revenue, the income statement, the key items are relevant. Okay, and timeliness. Okay. So if your sale is happened in year one, just put in the year one income statement, not the second year income statement. So you must consider the timing of your sale and the timing of your profit. Okay? Put a reliable figure. Okay? Reliable figure. And also, when you put your number in year one, year two, and year three, make sure you are putting in a way that is consistent and comparable. Okay? You use the same methodology to assign your number in first year, second year, and third year. Okay? And we just need to quote the material item, just what I told you in the income statement, right? You don't need to break it down to detail, but you must have these basic items. So these are all the material numbers that you should be able to represent in the income statement and also the balance sheet. Okay? Okay. Okay, there are a few more principles about how you record the number in the income statement. Okay. Okay. So when you say you complete a 1 million sale in first year, make sure that you have actually complete the earning process. If you are doing retailing, it's easy. When your goods are delivered to the customers, then you have completed your earning process, right? But if you are providing a service to a client, then be careful. When you say you have 1 million sales income in first year, are you completed all your sale, all your after sales service? Okay? For example, if you are providing service, there may be some after sales service, or your service contract lasts for 3 years. Then when you put your number in your first year statement, make sure you have completed your earning process. Okay? Okay? And making sure whether the client will pay you the money. Okay? When you put the number here. Okay? For retailing, it's always easy, but for service companies, it's very difficult to assure that the client will pay you back in that year. Okay? Okay. For example, if you sell 100, okay, you sell a 1 million sale, then this is, you believe you have complete a 1 million sale in first year. Then whatever costs associated with this 1 million sale, you must put in the same year's income statement. We call it matching principle. Okay? So if you believe you have 1 million sale because of 100 unit of goods sold, then all these costs must be put here. So there are some matching between these key items. Okay? Whenever you put a figure here, your cost, the cost must be totally covered all the revenue, all your goods that you sell to the client. Okay? Okay. Okay, anyway, but this is just the principle. Okay. What is the period cost? Period cost is here. After the gross profit, all this we call it period cost. Even though you don't have any sale in that year, you still have this cost. So this is the period cost. It doesn't matter how much revenue you generated for that year. You still have this outgoing, cash outgoing or expenses. Then this is period cost. Which means for that year, the 1 year period, you have to spend all these costs. You just put it here. Then you have 1 year income statement. Okay? Okay, now the depreciation. How come there is a depreciation? Okay, it's because you have your initial investment in PP&E or intangible. Okay. Just try to remember the definition of PP&E and intangible. It is not an expense here. Okay? It is not an admin cost. It's not an overhead. It's not marketing. It will cost it when you spend money in property, plant and equipment or intangible. It is not going to be converted into cash within 1 year. It's your productive asset that will be used over the whole life of your project, right? So when you use up your cash and buy some PP&E or intangible, you will be treating like this. You use up your cash balance here and convert some of the cash into fixed asset, right? So you have 100 here and still. Now you have 80, you have 20. So what you did is you just convert the cash from cash to other form of asset, okay? Which means you are not spending away your $20. If you are spending away your $20, you will put the $20 here. Because you are not spending away, you are just converting the cash into different form of asset. You just make an entry on your balance sheet, right? Okay, so there is no, we will say there is no effect on the income statement. There is only effect on the balance sheet. So $80 cash plus $20 asset. So how can you treat this $20 asset over time? Okay. For example, if your asset is going to be used for 10 years, then your $20 asset will be depreciated over 10 years. We call it a straight line depreciation, so $2 for each year. Then you will create, okay, like that, okay. Let's then turn to page 15. I will go through this example. Whenever you buy intangible or asset, you must do a separate calculation for this before you put into your financial statement. Okay, it is not for resale, held for more than 1 year, and all your costs associated with this asset, okay, can be included. For example, if you buy Microsoft Office, including insurance, transportation, installation, is $2,000, okay, dollars. Okay. Then this is your asset. You convert cash into Microsoft Office software. Okay? So we will use a straight line depreciation for this asset. Okay? Then you must make an assumption. How many years? Okay? Maybe 5 to 10 years. Okay? You can just search for your asset. You can how long the depreciation is reasonable for this kind of asset. You can just type Google search, they definitely tell you. For example, for a property, the depreciation can last for 30 years. But for a notebook, maybe 3 years. Okay? Okay. So if you have the number of years, then everything becomes easy. Just look at this example. For example, you buy a plant that costs you 12K, and it can be last for 4 years. And you believe after 4 years there is some residual value of $2,000. Then you just do a straight line depreciation. So your cost is 12K minus the residual value divided by 4. That is $2,500. So in your balance sheet, okay, in your balance sheet, for the first year, you will charge $2,500 accumulated depreciation. And at the same time, you will charge $2,500 depreciation in the income statement. So there must be a relationship between the balance sheet and income statement. This is the most difficult part for you. Okay? So the net book value, which means the asset, how much it worth. When you buy it, the asset worth 12K. After 2,500, the asset worth 9,500, right? After 1 year. So next year, you charge another 2,500 in the income statement. And you have accumulated 5,000 depreciation for this particular asset. Okay? So the book value of the asset become, yeah. And then after 4 years. So what I want to illustrate to you that, for example, you get the money from the SEC, you will definitely put into certain kind of long-term asset, fixed asset, or intangible. Then you must able to answer how long will it last. You must able to answer this question. For example, it will last for 5 years, and you put 10,000 there. 10,000 lasts for 5 years, so $2,000 per year. Then you must charge the relevant amount depreciation on the income statement. And the balance sheet, the asset will like this. Okay. Okay. Income, the balance sheet. You will have asset. For example, is there. We will have accumulated depreciation. Okay. This is first year. Second year. Okay. 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 So try to digest a little bit about the depreciation, the concept of depreciation. If you are doing something about patents, copyright, or fixed assets, then you should consider putting depreciation in your income statement, as well as you must show your asset value over years and the accumulated depreciation that you have charged against these assets over years. Then the two number must be the same. Okay? This is reported on an accumulated basis. This is on a year-on-year basis. Okay? So try to think, when you get the money, what are you going to put? What type of asset that you are going to invest with all your money? Okay? If you just use the money to pay salary and expense, then you won't have any asset. If there is no asset, there will be no accumulated depreciation and depreciation. So it depends on your project. Okay?
Well, I think in reality, most of your social ventures, you should have maybe computers, maybe some basic office equipment that I think what we want you to do is do a realistic financial pictures. Okay, so you cannot say, oh, I don't have any asset. Okay, it's not true. Okay, it's not realistic. So realistic is if you rent an office, you have office machinery, equipment, software, computers. Then you project. Okay, how many computers you have. Then you get a computers normally is a depreciation for how many years? 10. How many years computer depreciation?
I think 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. Okay,
3 to 5.
Yeah. Or treated as 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you make up some numbers so that you can make it more realistic.
And I understand that if you don't have any business background, it may be difficult to have an accurate number of depreciation. But I don't think we are looking for accurate number, but a reasonable number. So a notebook costs you $10,000, then the depreciation will be about $2,000 per month. That is called reasonable. But you won't say your notebook costs you $50,000 and you won't have any depreciation, right? So we are looking for reasonably less, okay? So think about your what type of asset that you may need to invest before you can generate any revenue. So it's important to have a clear, a reasonable balance sheet. Okay. Maybe I should take a break here, and then we continue. We come back with the cash flow part. Okay. 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. So we come back at 4. If you have any question, you can come to the front and ask me, because I think because you come from very diverse background, so it's better you come to front and ask me how do you treat your income statement and balance sheet. Hello. Okay, let's come back for the cash flow. Okay. Okay. So let me say a few words. Don't worry. Okay. I understand that balance sheet is a very difficult concept for many of you, but don't worry. Now we are going to talk about the cash flow, which is the most easiest part about any project. Okay, but at least you must demonstrate. And I think I would suggest you first of all you think about your cash flow first, and then you do your income statement, and lastly you try your best to do your balance sheet. Okay, because of the depreciation, etc., it's very quite difficult to understand if you are not coming from a business background. Okay, so now we are talking about the cash flow statement. That in cash flow statement, you don't need to worry about whether this expense is putting at the income statement or you need to put at the balance sheet. Okay, so it's the most easiest part. Okay. So let's talk about your final outcome. What are you being expected of? Okay. So let me go through once again. So income statement. Finally, you must present your income statement. You must be able to tell me how you get your revenue per year, and what is your gross profit after all the direct costs, and the operating profit after all the period costs or fixed costs, and finally your net income for each year. Okay, so that's the income statement that at least you need to present. Okay, so balance sheet I leave it here. Okay, so now we move on to the cash flow statement. Okay. Cash flow statement is slightly different from income statement in that you don't need to worry about where to put this item. You just list all the items sequentially. So that is cash flow statement. So in income statement, you still need to worry about whether this expense belongs to direct cost or belongs to period cost, or whether it is talking about depreciation. Then you worry a lot about how to put your number in the correct place. But in cash flow statement, it's the most easier part. You just look at the number. For example, when you start your project, you receive money from the SEC, and you definitely put some of the money as your initial investment. So that will be a negative number at the year end of 2012, right? December 2012. So I assume you buy a Microsoft Office software, then you have a negative number as initial investment. If you have other investment throughout the period, then you just put negative number, and negative number at the top line. Okay. So what after that is all the cash flow and tax. When you say cash flow, you mean okay, if you have sales or revenue, then it is a positive number. You just need to put a reasonable number for the first year. How much money you can generate from your sales. Okay? So you put a number. For expense, you just need to count the expense. Where all these expense come from is here. All these are expense, right? Cost of sale, material cost, labor cost, other direct costs, other income, if any, right? Rent, utility, overhead, admin, website, marketing, salary, all are your expenses. You don't need to worry about to put those numbers in the right place. You just put it sequentially. Sales, salary, marketing, rent, admin, you just put it one by one. Okay? Then you have revenue, you have the sales minus all these expense. Then you will have income before tax. You just multiply by 60%, assume that you need to pay the tax. And you have the income after tax. That is your after tax cash flow. Okay, ATCF. So you will see here is the income after tax, here is the after tax cash flow. So then you have completed your cash flow projection for the first year. Okay. The only thing you need to worry about that in your cash flow statement, all these items here must be talking about cash. Whether it's cash in or cash out. So there won't be depreciation. Depreciation will appear in income statement, but not cash flow statement. In the cash flow projection, you won't have depreciation. You won't have depreciation, okay? But for example, you buy a machine, then you will have fixed capital outflow. You have sales income, you have expense, and if you buy a Microsoft Office, you will have another fixed capital cash outflow. Okay? And for that year, you still have your revenue, your sales, and etc. etc. And your expenses are all here. The expenses items should basically follow the items here. Okay, except the depreciation. Okay? Except the depreciation. Okay? So this one is easy, right? Okay. Okay. So this is the 3-year cash flow projection. Okay. Now we talk about the more detailed one. This is first year, second year, and third year. This one is the 12-month cash flow projection. You can go through. I will go through the item. Okay. Okay. For example, you have at the very beginning, December 2012, you will have money received from SEC, right? So this is a positive number. Okay, positive number. And you have the total info here, positive number, right? Okay. And what is your outgoing or your outflow? Oh, you put some of the money into a asset, okay, or investment, or initial investment, software, patent, license, etc., etc. So this is a negative number, but I put it as a positive here first. So you spend 230,000. So the total outflow will be here. Okay. So for the December 2012, you have inflow 280, outflow 230. Then your net cash flow for the period, that is for December, will be positive 50K. Okay? Okay. That is your bank account. Right? That is your bank account. So your accumulated cash flow is 50K. That is your cash left in your bank account, right? So you just need to observe your bank account. Then you know how to do the cash flow projection. So you start your business on January 2013. So you do a little sales. You do a little sales, 2,300, and you have a positive number. But when you start your business, then you need to pay salary, rent, utility, insurance, any material cost to the supplier, miscellaneous charge, website, and marketing, if any. Okay. Then you have inflow 2,300 and outflow for 34K. Okay. So you have a negative cash outflow for that period. Okay. So your accumulated bank balance decreased. At the beginning, you have 50K cash. For this month, you have negative 32K. So your bank balance reduced to 17K. Okay? So your business continues to grow, right? So you have your cash from sales increased to 5,000, 12,000, 25,000, etc., etc. So you must try to figure out why your sales number is from 2,000 to 35,000 over the next 12 months. Okay, so you will have all the income. Okay. Okay. So your expense, you will have salary over the 12 months. You will need to pay rent and utility over the 12 months, but not insurance, right? And marketing, you can tell me why you put the marketing numbers here, right? You put it in a reasonable way. So you are thinking about you need to spend the marketing cost on March, August, and December. So you think about your marketing plan, okay? Then you know where to put the number, okay? And you will see some website. For example, you can see website. I just put 10K twice because I think website development cost, you just need to pay twice and you have fully developed your website. So the question is always how, when people ask you why you put the number here, they will ask two questions. Why the amount is here and why it happens at this particular month. Okay? So supplier miscellaneous, you just put here. Then you will have the, for every month, you will have the cash flow. Okay? Sometimes negative, and then it turns positive towards the year end. Okay? And your accumulated bank balance. Okay? At the end of first year, your bank balance, when you have 280K at the beginning, your bank balance is only left with 67K. So after several years, it will grow. Ultimately, it will outgrow your initial capital injection, then which means your project starts to break even, right? When your accumulated cash flow is starting to grow higher and higher until it reaches the 280K, then it is called a break even. And after that, it is called earning profit. Okay? Okay. So for this project, your first year you receive money from the SEC. You have revenue 296K, and your total income or total cash inflow is 576K, and your total expense is 500K, and therefore you have a bank balance left 67K left as at December 2013. Okay, so at the end of 2014, this bank balance should grow higher, and 2015 even higher, and 2016, 2017 until you reach the figure that is higher than the initial investment, initial money that you get from SEC. Okay, but of course you are not being asked to do a projection for 10 years, right? So you are only being asked for the first 3 years, or sometimes you can do first, second, third year projection, and then the 5th year, and then the 10th year. Okay, if you are able to do that. Okay. 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 So what I think that may be most important to you is after you complete your cash flow, please remember to put all your assumptions here. Okay. So for example, when I say the cash from sale is 2,300, how many units am I talking about? What is the unit price of 1 unit, right? Okay. Website expense, why I put only 2 here? Okay. Initial investment, is there only one initial investment in December or other initial investment over the other month? So you must be able to explain for your project why your initial investment is happened here and not here. Okay? Or do you need to have investment into 2 or 3 phases? Okay? Okay. So this is the cash flow projection. If you are able to complete the cash flow, 12-month cash flow projection, then you are able to do the first year cash flow projection. If you have the first year cash flow projection, you should be able to have the income statement for the first year. Okay? Okay. Okay. So first of all, do the first 12 months, and then lastly, you expected you have put all your assumption and your ratio in the 4th rectangle here. Okay. In fact, the most important part is you are able to put all your assumption and ratio here and be able to explain all these terms for your project. Okay, then I'll go through it one by one. Okay. Okay. What is your gross profit margin? Okay. For example, if you are selling service or selling product, you will have a selling price. But what is your gross profit margin? Then you can refer to your income statement, right? You have gross profit. Okay. If you remember the case of Fairwood, what is the gross profit margin for Fairwood? 8%. Then do you have your own figure for your own product? Okay. So what is then your net profit margin? Okay. For Fairwood, this is 8%. This is 7%. Okay. So you have to answer these 2 numbers for your own project. Okay. Then if you are selling product or selling service, what is your unit price for 2013? Are you going to increase your price in 2014 or 2015? Why? Why? How much you can charge in the market depends on not just your subjective projection, but depends on the competition and any comparable in the market, right? Okay. If you are selling lunchbox, you can't charge $50 per box, right? You can only charge $30 per box, okay? Because you have competitor, okay? So what is your unit cost? Okay. Usually your cost will be lower than your price. Otherwise, you are making a loss. Okay? Okay. Have you ever heard of this term, contribution? Contribution. Okay. For example, if your selling cost is $100, your unit cost is $80. Your contribution will be the difference between the two. You will be amazed why this term is called contribution. Okay. When I sell 1 unit to the customer, I earn $20 contribution. Contribution to what? This number is very useful. When you say you have $20 contribution per unit, okay, you are making $20 contribution, which means $20 return to cover your fixed cost. What is your fixed cost? Refer to your income statement. When you say you have $20 contribution, actually you're talking about $20 gross profit, right? Right? But you are still making a loss for the whole company, right? Except that you sell many units. For each unit, you earn $20 contribution to cover all your period costs and fixed costs, such as insurance, marketing, your own salary. For example, your salary will be, for example, 8,000 Hong Kong dollar. If you sell one unit, you get $20 contribution. How many units you sell before you are able to cover your own salary? 400. So this is the number that you were able to answer. Okay? So sometimes we will say this whole batch is fixed cost. Okay? So you should be able to answer what is the contribution per unit of your business and what is your total amount of fixed costs in 1 year. Then definitely, right now, then you will definitely know how many units you need to sell in order to just to cover your fixed costs. After that, there will be profit. Before that, there will be a loss. Okay? Okay? So you must stay your contribution, $20. If your fixed cost of your business, including marketing, insurance, etc., is 200K, how many units you need to sell? How many units you need to sell? 10K, right? So I put it here. That is your break-even quantity. Okay? Then the second question is, am I able to sell 10K unit in the first year? If the answer is yes, then you are making profit in the first year. If your answer is not, in this example, I only projected 8,000 unit sales in first year, then I will make a loss in the first year. It's okay to make a loss in the first year, but you must able to tell me why you project 8,000 units in the first year and why you are able to sell 11K unit in the second year and why you are able to sell 12K unit in the third year. That's the most important question to be answered. Okay? Okay. And the next part is for the unit. Why you can increase your price from 100 to 100 to 120? Why you can still increase the price by $5 in the third year? And you see your contribution is rising. Why? And when your contribution is rising, your break-even quantity is reducing. Right? If you are able to do a 3-year projection, then even though you are making loss after 3 years, but you are able to project whether you can break even at how many years later, right? Correct? Okay? Okay. So my suggestion is still the same. Do the monthly cash flow and the cash flow projection, income statement. Then you will have all these figures already, right? Okay. What I want to say is the list of these items is not exhaustive. You can create your own. It's better if you can come up with some of the ratio that is specific to your own project proposal. Okay, I will give you a few examples. How can you create your own ratio in order to enrich your presentation? Okay, so these are very standard items. I mean, but you can create your own. Okay, so turn to your notes, page 20. The first table lists out the common ratio that will be used by outsiders to judge whether your project proposal is viable or sustainable. Okay. They will compare this figure. For example, if you are doing retailing, the first number that I will ask you is how many sales you can achieve in one store, okay, in 2013. And then I will ask the same number in 2014 and 2015. Then I will see whether your same store sales is increasing or decreasing. Okay? So this is for retailing industry. If you only have one branch, then it's okay. You have same store sales, right? You have only one store. But if you are thinking about expanding your retail network over 3 to 5 years, then maybe you have 2 shops in the first year and you have 5 shops at the end of third year. Then your sales will definitely grow. But your same store sale, whether it will grow, whether it will increase or decrease, are you able to tell the judge, my same store sale will increase or decrease? Why? Okay? So for retailing, you can think about it. The other angle about retailing, we call it sales per square foot. Okay? If you rent a bigger store, you will have a higher sales. But you need to pay rent. The rent is very expensive in Hong Kong. So the second question I will ask is whether per square foot, given the rental is $100 per square foot in Hong Kong, how many sales per year you can achieve per square foot of rent? Okay? I think you can create your own, okay? For example, if you are not doing retailing, then tell me how many staff you are going to employ. Then I will ask you how much revenue you can generate for one employee, okay? And what is the net income per one employee? Okay? So I guess many of your projects does not related to retail, but related to personal service. So how many staff you need to employ? For one of the staff, you need to pay 7,000 to 8,000 per month as salary. Do they able to generate sufficient net income for their own salary or not? Then how can you justify your number? Okay, if you tell me my sales will be 1 million because I can employ 10 staff, then are you putting the salary cost realistically in your income statement? Okay? Okay. Hotel is just for your reference, okay? For IT, if you are doing design work, are you charging fee per design or are you charging fee on a working hour basis? So you must be able to think through, how are you going to charge your client? Because the way you charge your client will affect whether you can spend money wisely in terms of salary or rental. Are you charging per design, per program, or based on working hour? So your revenue per working hour. Man hour, sometimes we call it man hour. So before you propose your business, whether think about how do you going to cover your costs. Okay, you pay your staff by hourly rate or you pay your staff on a contracted basis. If you are using contracted basis, then your cost will be per design or per project. If you are using hourly staff, then your revenue should be tied with your cost on an hourly basis, so that you can have a better picture whether your business can earn money or not. Okay, if you can't earn money over a reasonable period of time, then your business will not be sustainable. Okay. So here are just some of the examples, just give you more thinking. Okay. If you are doing retailing, rent and sales per square foot is important in order to justify your sustainability. And you should consider some of the inventory issue because you have produced the good, whether they are able to sell at the year end. And you don't forget, you need to put a lot of money in fitting decoration. That is fixed asset investment. And this will lead to depreciation. Okay. But for IT or service industry, usually it's not about fixed asset. Okay? But it's about intangibles. Okay? These are also assets. Okay? These are also assets, long-term assets. If your project is about education, then you know how to generate revenue, but how do you recruit your staff is the key. Employee, number of staff, quality of your staff. If you are generating education income, okay, not much investment at the beginning if you are doing education business, okay. Website, usually we put website as an expense. We won't treat it as a long-term asset, okay. So website, you just treat it as an expense in income statement. So the final checklist, okay. I don't know whether you can prepare a final checklist before you conduct your financial. Okay. Before you do your cash flow projection, balance sheet, and income statement, try to answer all these questions before you start doing your number. Otherwise, it's very difficult for you to complete your projection. Okay. So you must think, when you get the money from SEC, how are you going to invest? Do you have a one single phase investment as at December 2012, or you need to invest into 2 or 3 different phases? Okay? So if you are able to put the amount here and the date, okay? This is your basis for your cash flow projection, okay? Okay? Are you going to invest in physical asset, intangible asset, or everything is an expense? So your balance sheet won't have any asset. Okay, so you must think through. When you put your money, when you spend your money, you are spending as an asset, intangible, or expense. Okay? If it is 1 or 2, then you will have depreciation. Okay? If your project does not involve physical asset or intangible, then it's easier. Okay? Are you able to tell me your product and service in a simple description? What are you going to sell? If you can't tell me what are you going to sell, I won't believe your selling price is such and such. Okay? Tell me what are you going to sell? Service, educational income, tuition income, or product. Okay? Just give a single line of description of your product. Then you are able to tell me what is the unit price of your one product. Okay? So, what is the unit price and why? Very difficult to answer why. Why your unit price is such and such. Okay? So, I know why you, okay, for example, I know I satisfied with your reason why the unit price is 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. And I agree with you that you can sell the unit at 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. Then what is the cost associated with all these $1,000 sales? You must put every expense here, including your salary. Okay. So what is the direct cost that must be spent in order to generate this 1,000 unit price? Then you know your contribution. Okay? Then you know your contribution. Okay? And then try to complete your figure. Why you are going to sell this number of units in the first one, second month, year end, second year, and the third year. Okay? And why? Okay? Okay. This is the selling price, direct cost, contribution, and the sale. So combined together, you have the revenue and gross profit. Right? And then you start to count your fixed costs every month. What is your marketing cost in order to achieve, to generate the above sale? Will it change? Will it change? Do you need a lot of promotion at the beginning or at the end? Okay? In the first year or in the third year, do you need more promotion and more and more and more promotion in the third and fourth and the fifth year? Okay? What is your fixed cost? Don't forget to include your own salary. Okay? will the fixed cost change after first year or second year? Then from here, you have the fixed cost. Okay? Then you know whether your project is profitable or not. Okay? You have revenue, gross profit, and the contribution. Make sure how many units you can sell so that your contribution add up together can cover all your fixed costs. Then you are making a profit. Okay? At the end of the day. Okay? I won't think you will achieve a profit in the first year or second year, but sometimes you will see the trend. The loss is getting less and less. Okay? Then you are able to convince the judge why you believe you can break even at 5th year or the 6th year or the 10th year. Okay? Okay. I think I will let you ask some more specific questions. Because I think your project is so diverse, so it's better for you to ask questions related to your own project.
Why depreciation doesn't account into the cash flow projection?
Okay. For the cash flow projection, right? Okay. If you spend any money to buy any fixed asset, you just put the negative number here. But if you buy an asset in the balance sheet, you will just shift the cash into a fixed asset. It doesn't hit the income statement. Okay. So because this is a purely balance sheet movement, so you have to do a strict line depreciation for your asset purchase. So you have to create a figure back into the income statement as depreciation. But if you just treat it on a cash flow basis, whenever you buy an asset, it already reflected as a fixed capital cash outflow in a particular point of time. So no need to account for depreciation. So you can see that depreciation actually comes from the fixed asset on the balance sheet. But when you prepare your cash flow statement, you don't need to consider where the money goes, whether it goes for fixed asset or whether it goes for expense. It doesn't matter. You just put a negative number and that's it.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I think you can also ask any question related to any business or even valuation. You can ask. I can answer you valuation. yeah.
I had a meeting with two, what are they called? Independent financial advisors this morning.
Yeah.
Represent
IFA.
net worth. Yeah. And they both are interested in investing in our company. They asked me, "What is your company worth?" This morning.
Yeah.
What is my company worth? How much money is it worth?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There are basically two methodology to do a valuation for any business project. First of all, cash flow. That's what I emphasized during this class. The second way is just look at the balance sheet. If you have for example, if your balance sheet has a very large amount of assets, because for your project you won't have liability, definitely. If you have a large amount of assets and your asset value grow over time, how can the asset value grow? Either your cash grow. Cash flow must come from profit, right? So for your case, it won't be cash flow. But you must still justify why your asset value will go up.
So our assets are going to be patents, and they're going to be basically the process derived.
Yeah. Okay. Usually, for asset, the valuation, usually we put at cost, which means put a historical cost as the asset value. So you will see the value won't grow up, right? But in your case, if you don't have any profit for your project, how can you value? You must tell your potential investor, our asset will grow because not of profit, but of the reason. So you must think of a reason why your asset value will grow for your project. because I don't know the details. Can you tell me a little bit more about your?
It's a waste management technology.
Yeah. Okay.
Process to pyrolyze
Yeah.
materials.
So it's a technology algorithm, some kind of intelligence, right?
I'm sorry.
So it is a kind of a programming intelligence. So it's a kind of formula.
It's a chemical process.
Yeah, it's a technology, right?
Yes, yeah.
So at the end of the day, this technology must have some kind of application, right? It must be applied for certain company that may help them to reduce cost or increase revenue. So the cost saving can be justify your valuation. So for example, if a big company use your technology, they can reduce 1 million wastage treatment costs per year. Then it will help to justify why your asset is just something very intangible, right? Then you can justify, although it's intangible, although I won't generate the sales for myself, but because somebody, they buy my asset, they are able to generate some saving in cost.
Okay, so you're saying we create a trail, like let's say we create a product for Kraft Foods, and we save them $100,000 a year, and we want to sell them the product for say $500,000, so it's a 5-year payback period for those guys. And we say we could charge them that much money for it, $500,000. We could sell it to this many people, and then multiply it by some earnings, and that would produce the valuation for our company. We create a trail from where we are now to our technology, what the technology does for our buyers.
Yeah, that's a way to value, because you must value something from their perspective. If they are a user of your technology, they use your own technology. After buying your company, they can use your technology. Then it helps them to reduce cost or whatever. If you see things from their perspective, you can come up with a valuation from that end. Not from your end. Sorry.
From the people that use our product.
Yes. It's from the end user perspective, not from your company perspective. Yeah, that's one of the ways. Yeah.
For some of my key employees, right, then I would like to pay them using profit sharing instead of normal salary.
Yeah.
So where do I include these expenses?
Yeah.
Is it like dividends? Because they are somehow like my shareholder?
No. If they are really your employee, you must put it as a salary to them. Although your salary is fluctuating, right? Because it's a profit sharing scheme. So when put in the financial statement, when you say net income or net profit, it belongs to the shareholder. That is you, okay? That is the shareholder. So even though you pay bonus to your staff, then you have to develop a formula. For example, you have to put this is your own step. Okay, I think I used the whiteboard. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's take a while. There should be two salaries, right? This is your own salary. Just put a 7,000, 8,000. Salary of the staff, because it's based on the profit sharing. Usually, what will you do is at the year end, you complete all your income statement calculation. Then you decide how much should be paid back, how much more should be paid to the staff as salary. So I think this is very complicated if you really need to put into this format. So why not you can say they have a base salary plus a percentage of gross profit. That will be easier. Yeah. You can change your I propose this because it's easier for you to complete the financial projection. Otherwise, it will be too complicated.
Then the gross profit that I put down, right? Then it will be the number before I deduct.
Yeah. So, for example, okay. So these are the fixed costs, right? These basically are the fixed costs, right? Okay. And then you will have the operating profit. Then you have the net profit, right? Okay. So I think for easier way is you put the basic salary plus a percentage of this one. And basically this is a very typical formula that you use in business. If you have more sales, the staff can get a high salary. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you can look for your competitors or...
Can you put it as a condition on the revenue side?
Which one?
Percentage of the gross profit.
On the...
Direct cost. Based on the revenue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Another way.
Yeah, another way is you put a staff, we call it bonus, something like that. Then it's a percentage of the sales. Yeah. It's okay, it depends.
Because it's directly related to the revenue.
Yeah. Sometimes people will use base salary plus percentage of revenue. Yeah. So three different ways, but the result is the same. Yeah.
How about servicing? We treat all the employees as
direct cost.
Fixed cost or direct cost?
Okay, yes, good question. If your business is about services, the staff cost actually is directly related to revenue generated. So sometimes they will put the staff cost on the top, above the gross profit. For example, consider the massage shop, right? If you are opening a massage shop, the staff cost actually is directly related to your revenue. The more massage he or she does, you need to pay the salary to the lady, right? And the revenue will be in proportion, right? Okay, so you can put your staff salary on the top, above the gross profit. Yeah, it depends on the nature. But for Fairwood, for example, the fast food shop, actually they have some staff located in the branch, in the shop, and they also have some staff located in the headquarters. So they may have two staff costs. So it depends on your project. Yes. Publication, yeah.
Then the revenue will come from the advertising.
Yes.
So is it different from how the conventional one? Because there is no cost of sale, but just the printing and those.
Yeah.
So, and the revenue is not directly come from the magazine; it is from the advertising. So how can we quantify?
So your printing cost, I know for publication, usually all your cost is fixed. Even the printing cost, because every month you publish maybe 1,000 magazines, right? So everything is fixed cost. So publication, printing, even staff, you put here fixed cost, and you only have advertising income. Yeah. So you may not have gross profit because there is no direct revenue and direct cost, which is related, so you may not have gross profit. Then in your case, you won't have contributions. Yeah. Yeah, but just to a certain extent, if you know the industry, I guess they know the industry. Even though you print a lot more, even you are talking about paper cost is more or less the same. Even though you print 1,000 or 2,000, it's basically the same cost. Yeah. So you don't need to have contribution. But your case is how many advertising page you need to have in order to cover all your fixed costs in a particular month. That you will also have a break-even concept, right? Yeah.
For their case, if most of the costs are fixed costs, how do you actually calculate the profit margin? Because if you have more sales, then your profit margin actually increases. So it's actually variable.
Yeah. So, but it's difficult for you to calculate the profit margin, but you still need to tell me what is the break-even, right? Just like his case, right? The revenue usually depends on somehow you must have some kind of ratio or measure. For advertising, it may be number of pages of advertisement. You must have you need to think of your own. You must have something to base in order to calculate your revenue. So everything is fixed cost, for example, is here. Then you still have a break-even, right? Your break-even is you must have revenue greater than this one. And how can you generate the revenue more than 120K? Then you must justify by this number. So you must think of your, I know you know your ratio, right? You have to think on your own ratio.
Do we also have to give you the reasons why we set the pricing for each ad?
For each ad, for example, 8K per page, then you must justify. Of course. There are lots of things to do. If what I want to say is, the financial projection is not talking about finance. It summarizes all your business activity in this financial statement. So if you can answer every question of your every number, you know your business inside out. Yeah. Many people cannot answer the figure very well. Yeah. So it's a summary of your business plan. I think last time we talked about how to do a marketing survey, something like that. You must check your competitor price. Yeah.
How about multiple products?
Oh.
The P and Qs and multiple.
P and Q,
P and G. The unit price times the unit quantity. But for a restaurant, they have different types of food. How can they?
Oh, wow, that will be okay. For example, for Chinese restaurant, you have dim sum, and you have what? Congee. You before you do your financial projection in income statement and balance sheet and cash flow statement, you have to separately do a breakdown of gross profit margin. For example, $20 and direct cost is $10, then your GP will be $10. And congee is $40 and the cost is $5. And so you have to list all your product. And then you have to make assumption of how many units you can sell per month. Yeah. In order to in order to support your number. In your income statement, you just put the last number, right? You just put this number in your income statement. Revenue, direct cost, gross profit. This is in the income statement, right? But you have to justify these three numbers by using the table behind. But that will be quite difficult.
I add something, okay? Okay. This can be done by your research because you know all your food materials, okay? You can reference on your competitors' price menu, okay? But how about the activity? That means how many unit quantity can you sell? Okay, how can you forecast this?
Yeah, okay.
Do you have any idea?
Okay, if you're just a Chinese restaurant, then of course you check with Dou Hang or something like that, but you have to think your product mix may be different from your competitor. Otherwise, the best you can do is just like your competitor. Then you don't need to do a financial forecast. You just copy the financial statement from Cafe Decoro and Fairwork. So if you are proposing a fast food restaurant, first of all, you study the product mix, but you must propose something that is unique to your restaurant. Maybe you are focusing on dim sum, right? You have 90% of your product sale come from dim sum, but why? But why? You know nowadays they have many dim sum specialized shops in Hong Kong, right? Why? Why they come up with so many dim sum specialized shops? Because dim sum has the highest profit margin if you know the business well. Okay? Congee and other fried noodle, it takes too long to cook. The fixed cost is too high and the profit margin is too low. And that's why there are many special shops just selling dim sum. This is your unique way of success, if you can think of it.
my solution for how to estimate the number of units that you sell is building up a story. Okay? Imagine a story that when you open the shop, assuming you have one shop, you open the shop from 7 a.m., then who are your first customers?
Yes.
Okay. What will you expect them to buy from you? Okay. A breakfast? Okay. What type of breakfast? Okay. Just build up some scenario. Okay. You can use Excel, build up a lot of scenario. Okay. Scenario A is within 1 hour I have how many customers, and then the second hour, and then maybe less. Okay. Until lunchtime better, and then after lunch 3 a.m. no one else, okay, and then dinner, no one, because in the district, okay, it's all depending on their location. So you need to define your story, okay, according to the time and location, okay. This is very comprehensive, okay. This is the advanced level of doing budgeting, okay. If you are passionate and have enough time, and also like to win the competition, you should do much dedicated forecast and estimation, okay, by your teams, okay. Just maybe sit on one of the canteen or sit on one of the competitors' shop and see how things going. Okay, if you are doing some retail, okay, because retail is so competitive, and also everyone is familiar with retail business, so they will have a lot of questions on your ventures. But if you're doing some unique business venture, okay, so no one else can criticize than yourself, then you can, save some time not to do very detailed story, okay. But for retail business, beware, or selling business, okay, selling stuff, you need to be imagine a story so that you can build up a very sustainable and reasonable activity and the quantity and the price level that you can put up for everything into a financial statement.
I think the story is very important. Even though you think your project is so unique, you still need to come up with the story, how to break down your different product line. Even though you think your project is very unique, you still need to think about the story.
I have some question about sorry, some question about the assumption. You state the assumption is the unit price, but what is the situation if I charge a proportion fee? For example, we charge a fee after provide service 10%. So what is the point assumption?
So you are charging based on cost plus something, right?
Based on the revenues. For example, I provide a service and a general $1 million sales amount, and then we charge maybe 5% of that amount.
Then you must justify how can you get the 1 million first. You can it's not difficult. Okay, for you, for your company, your revenue is based on some because you are charging a service fee, percentage service fee, right? So you are helping somebody to do a project. The size is 1 million, and you charge 5% out of 1 million, right? So your revenue will be 5% times your, sometimes you call it the contract sum. Then you have this figure. Okay. So your question is?
Do I cancel the unit price in assumption and use
yeah. Okay, yeah. Because this is just a general campaign, you can recreate all the terms that is relevant to your project. Yeah, you don't need to follow strictly about the terms.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I have a question for Ted. How about marketing costs? When we say marketing sometimes or many times related to sales. Okay, so we will put some money on marketing and we expect the sales will increase. That should be the truth, right? Okay, so most of the student team they will put up some marketing costs, but what is appropriate is depends, right? The channels. Yes. But how can they rectify the marketing expenses related to the revenue?
Okay. It actually is very depends on your industry. For example, if you are selling retailing or a property, for example, if you use agency fee, if you employ agency to help you to increase sales, then your marketing cost usually will be a percentage of your revenue. Okay, this is if you employ some specialists, we call agents, to help you to sell. But for some of the product, I think your marketing cost may not be directly related to your revenue. Then you will become a marketing budget. Then you have to think about your marketing channel before you come up with the marketing budget. But for marketing budget, usually I would do a quarterly marketing budget. So for example, if you are using web-based marketing such as Yahoo or Google, actually they can charge number per clicks, dollar per clicks, right? Okay. So it depends. If you are using Yahoo, then will be dollar per clicks. If you are doing general marketing, then you will be a quarterly fixed marketing budget. So I don't think I have answered your question. So you can.
My opinion for marketing costs is most likely, okay, you should put some money into marketing, and but you should know or you should have some expectation about your marketing costs. Okay, Ted cannot answer you this time or now because there's a lot of different type of marketing costs. Okay, when you put into Facebook, okay, it may take you 4,000 Hong Kong dollar for a marketing campaign, and then you may generate some traffic that how that traffic can benefit your sales and revenue. You need to define that. Okay, so and so every money you spend, whatever it is, it's very common or easy to understand. You spend money on production, so you manufacture some goods. But for some money you spend on marketing, you also need to put some expectation on. If you put 1,000 there in the marketing, so how much sales we would expect to grow or in the next period. Okay, sometimes in my expectation is marketing budget when you spend in the first month, the consequence effect will be in the third month. Okay, it will not happen immediately. Okay, so there will be a time lag. Okay, so when you put your first year budget, if you have marketing expenses, you have a 12-month breakdown. Sometimes the marketing budget will come in first. When in the first 2 months you spend some money, and then you expect maybe 6 months later you have some marketing effect that you have sales growth. Then it makes the budget more logical. Okay, sounds reasonable. Okay, if you put marketing first month and then you have sales boom up immediately, that's not reasonable. Okay, so and you can search from internet that maybe some ideas about people spending marketing expenses on some channels, and then can get some ideas on how the sales can grow. Yeah.
It's very difficult to estimate.
Yeah, there's no formula actually. Yeah. So it's difficult to answer, but it's all expectation. Okay, just make some of your expectation and assumption. It is on the expense side. Although it's not very material or significant size, but at least you prove yourself a very dedicated team that you think for everything. Okay, you think in the details. Okay? Judge will also alert for the details. Yeah. And one more question. It's about location. Because not all the teams are doing business in a physical shops. Okay, some of you may, as a designer, you will sell your goods by different agents. Okay, or in different direct sales network. Some of you are doing maybe e-commerce, selling on website. Okay, so whatever you want to sell your product or service, you put down your assumption on which channels you are selling, okay? Through consignment, to any shop, how many number of shops, through direct sales on your website, everything you need to list down as an assumption worksheet, so that you can tell the story, okay, month by month, which channels you sell, you expect which month you will sell how many products, or your pieces of goods, okay? So have many details as possible.
Yeah. Beware of if you are doing consignment sales, you will have a lot of inventory problem. Okay. So I don't know whether you are doing consignment. Consignment, it looks very good on numbers, but it incurs a very high risk of carrying a lot of inventory, unsold inventory at the year end. So you will definitely be challenged by the judge if you are doing consignment sales. But beware of how you present your number. So remember to justify your number and the possible problem that may arise from consignment. Yeah.
Inventory means because they are not made to order. Okay, sometimes they need to produce a small quantity and store, and then sometimes they need maybe a made on order.
Yeah. If this is made on order, that is better business model. But if you need to make goods and keep inventory, then it's better to then it will involve a lot of balance sheet work. Okay. Then so if you need to carry your inventory, whether it's consignment or you are not doing consignment, it's make to order. But the fact that you still need to keep a certain amount of inventory. Otherwise, when people come to buy your product, you are unable to offer them. So make sure you have to create the inventory quantity and amount for the inventory at the year end. Okay, so usually the amount of inventory that you need to keep at the year end is related to your revenue. So usually you will do your income statement first, and you have your revenue. Your revenue behind is unit price and number of units sold. So the more number of units you are expected to show in 1 year, you should carry a larger amount of inventory. That will be in a proportion, but the exact proportion will depends on your industry. So I don't know whether the judge will ask the question in such detail, but it's difficult to tell. Maybe for example, if you welcome a supermarket, okay. The larger amount of units sell, for example, Coca-Cola, they sell a lot of Coca-Cola every year. So at the year end, they must carry quite a lot of Coca-Cola inventory as well. So it's directly related to the number. Yeah. Sometimes it's.
Or put up a ratio.
Yeah.
Inventory to.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it's 1 to 10. Okay, 120. So it's 5%. That will be very good figure. So. Or you can use this benchmark. 1 to 12 is. What's the percentage? 1 over 12. 8%. Right? 8%. How do we? This is a good benchmark for you to start to consider, which means that if you are doing 12-month sales, you need to keep 1 month sales as inventory. That's how I interpret this 1 over 12 number. So if you are doing business, you are doing for the 12th month of Coca-Cola sales, you need to keep 1 month of Coca-Cola sales in your go down as your inventory. So you have to adjust this number up or down, depends on your own product. Okay. So think along this line. How many months of inventory you need to keep? Okay.
The inventory is important if your business is driven by selling goods. Okay, and you must keep some stock at the year end. So you need to illustrate how many stock. So inventory turnover ratio, right? Some ratio that you can you can do some ratio analysis to justify why you do that.
Yeah. Or using I either use how many months or how many days, inventory days. It's easier to understand inventory days. Okay. So when I produce 1 unit of goods, how long it must be kept in my company before it can sell to the customer? So how many days? If the days is 30 days, then you will have the ratio of 1 to 12, right? So can you understand it? If you, for every product you produce, you keep it for 30 days before you can sell to the customer. Then you can have these inventory days, the concept of inventory days, or the inventory turnover. But anyway, you must have a reasoning behind the ratio. If you are using 8%, then which means your inventory day is 1 month.
For some physical goods, I think it's more realistic that you will have a credit sales. That means that you will not receive the money immediately because at least
30 days,
especially for consignment deals. Okay, if you have put some of your goods like your design goods to some consignment stores, you just put something there and you cannot get the money. Okay, so you need to estimate the how to call
receivable at the year end. That is the
turnover.
Yep.
Number of days that you can get back the money.
Yeah, it's very easy. For example, you need 3 months to get back your money. Then at year end you will have 4 months of sale that will be put into as receivable, right? I think we are not expecting an accurate number, but at least you can tell the judge, because our consignment sale will only receive money after 3 months of sale. So that's why I need some receivable on the balance sheet that is equivalent to 1/4 of sales amount, 1/4 of the sales for the whole year.
OK， 有冇問題？廣東話都得嘅，冇錯。 I know some teams they have capital intensive asset, okay, like building a device that can travel overseas for providing service, okay. So you are developing an asset, okay, or a portfolio of asset that you can get revenue. Okay. So you need to be aware of the asset base, and also how the asset can generate the income and how the asset is depreciated. Okay. So I definitely know some of teams you have asset, some teams have inventory and design. Okay, and for the development cost of a new invention, okay, because some teams they develop new device, can they capitalize the development cost?
Usually not. Except your product is go into a stage that is capable of commercial viability. So if you are really doing a very innovative one, the first few years expense, you cannot treat it as an asset. You must expense right away every month. So for example, you spend several $1,000s in the lab process, then it is your expense in the income statement. You cannot say it's your asset, okay? Until the product is proven to be commercially viable, then you can treat all this expense not into the income statement, but goes to the balance sheet. But you have to define the stage. But I don't know how innovative your product is. If it is really innovative product, there's no market at all, then you need to expense it right away.
You mean until at the financial year that their invention becomes commercially viable, then they can capitalize the expense. Or can they capitalize backward?
No, they can't. They cannot capitalize backward.
Because they have been expensive.
Yeah, they have been expensive already. Yeah.
That's some of the very basic accounting concept that you need to
understand.
Aware, okay?
Yeah.
I have a question about merger. For example, if I'm a strawberry farm, I'm expecting to sell my strawberries to people.
Yeah.
But there's a case where I cannot sell my strawberries and they could go bad.
Yeah.
Before they go bad, maybe I make them into jam. But in terms from the inventory point of view, how do I account for whether I'm selling them fresh or whether I'm selling them as jam or extra processes needing them to...
So you have two products at top. You have two products. If they can sell as fresh strawberry, then it's jam. If they are returned goods, then you make it jam.
Yes. or maybe unsold or unsold.
Unsold, they will become perishable. They will.
Okay.
So how do I put it into put the number as inventory?
Yeah. Do we estimate them to have a useful life of 7 days, and if they're not sold within 7 days, we have to put them into a different process.
Okay. Okay. You generate revenue, and you have the strawberry cost of sale. But if they are going to return the strawberry or unsold, for unsold, it will be always on the balance sheet. But what I think about is those of strawberry that you have sold but returned. They won't. The customer won't. Okay.
It's only that we
so
sell them and they they cannot really remain on the balance sheet because they will be.
Okay. So inventory, for example. So income statement, no problem. Once it's sold, it's sold.
Yes.
If you have inventory $100, so but maybe after 3 months, some of them become jam or it's just not usable and you have to throw it away. Then you have to reduce your inventory at the year end. No need to do it month by month, but you have to do it in the year end. Maybe you have to reduce your inventory to $60. Then how can you treat this $40 less? You put a negative number here. It's called the okay. For easy way, okay. You just write inventory write down $40. That's good enough for a financial statement.
So we're really using the residual value of the inventory to make jam and not
okay. then whether the value will increase or decrease, or it just keep the same? Decrease. Okay. So the first step, if it is reduced by $40, you still need to put a negative 40 in the income statement. Then now your inventory will only cost $60, right? But after you make the gem, maybe you can sell for $200, for example. Then the next time you sell it, then you have $60 cost of sale, but a revenue of $200. But you already have written down your inventory here.
Or can I do it in another way? So let's say I have $100 of inventory. Okay, I just estimate $80 will be fresh. So I keep 80 and sell it fresh, and 20 sell.
Okay. If you can have this ratio at the beginning, so you have two types of inventory. Then right at the beginning, this is jam, this is strawberry. Then you can sell it and sell it. Yeah. Actually, this is easier. Otherwise, the projection will be too technical. Then it creates a lot of trouble in explaining the business. Yeah.
我一年賣到2000部電話，咁但係我要一入就入4000塊玻璃嘅話咧，咁另外剩低嗰2000塊玻璃，我入到邊個 category？Inventory
係啦，有2000塊拎咗去變咗 cost of sale，有2000塊 inventory。
哦，
啱嘛？咁啱數。balance sheet 係好難明。
The question related to raw materials and finished goods, and the proportion of raw materials to be recognized in the cost of sales that related for the direct production, right?
Yeah.
And the leftover raw materials should be in stock.
Yeah. Leftover.
But some for upcycling teams, some teams are doing upcycling, okay, using some raw materials without cost, right? You pick up some cans, pick up some rubbish, okay? So how can they evaluate the cost?
Okay, the cost should include your cost of collecting all this rubbish.
Yes.
Including your transportation, logistics, insurance, fire, etc., etc.
Yes.
So there is still some minor, little cost for even though you are doing upcycling. Okay?
Yes. Don't underestimate your cost.
Don't
even though you don't have need to pay the price.
Don't underestimate the transportation cost for collecting because you are definitely collecting from all over Hong Kong. Yeah. The cost, the logistic cost in Hong Kong is quite expensive.
Yeah. I know some of the teams are doing upcycling, okay? Converting dumped materials into something useful. So make sure that. And also, last is to include everything, every cost, possible cost into your budget, into your expense, income statement, including your salary. Okay, don't underestimate your salary. Add your salary back to the expenses. You should not be working as a volunteer. Okay, everyone should have a salary. Okay, so that this business can pay you a living. That is sustainable. Okay. Okay. If we don't have any more questions, so let's give a big hand to